Hey, what's up everyone? In today's video, I'm going to be playing some Harpies. Going to be taking a little bit of a break from meta decks and focusing on highly competitive decks. Definitely always love playing meta decks in this game, but I also like discovering new stuff and going back to older archetypes, weaker archetypes, and just experimenting and see what there is that you can do with it. And today's deck, that's going to be for Harpies. Before anyone asks if you want to get the deck build for this video, I'm not entirely happy with this build yet. This is more me fully testing a deck. I haven't actually just said, you know what, this is the final build of Harpies. So if you do want to see it, let me know. I will carry on working on this, and in the future I'll post a build, or I'll just give you this build if I can't find anything new or better to do with it. So Harpies are a legacy-based archetype, and I've always really liked them. I had a friend who was really enjoy playing Harpies because her favorite character was My Valentine, and she also liked playing things like Amazon is Tanya as well. And they're a classic deck. They're a very iconic deck, but in terms of viability and competitiveness, they've never really kind of gone out of rogue status. Harpies struggle in many ways, but the way that they've always struggled is that they're good at summoning lots of level 4 monsters, but then they don't really do a whole lot. They was really strong in Zeal format when rank 4 Xyz monsters were really popular, and the game was just a little bit slower than it is now because they could summon lots of level 4 monsters, use them as materials to make a toolbox of different types of rank 4 monsters. But now the game is a bit more sped up. Harpies do have a couple more new options, but the question is like, what do you do once these monsters hit the field? And so this is me really just throwing out ideas here, just trying different things with this deck. So what you're seeing me do here is use Magician's Souls. I don't really think Magician's Souls is that good in this deck. The reason why I'm playing Magician's Souls is because their card, it's their continuous spell card. I'll find it later on. It's the only continuous spell card in this deck. When it is sent from your hand or field to the graveyard, during your end phase, you can add 3 different Harpie cards from your deck to your hand. And so I wanted a way to kind of trigger that consistently, so that I can constantly get 3 cards at in my end phase and keep my hand full. And so I was trying to kind of work with that. Also, Harpies have a new trap card that's in my hand, and I will talk about that a little bit later on when I use it. But first, I want to talk about this new monster. So the new monster I just summoned is Harpie Perfumer. Harpie Perfumer is really nice, and it's a great kind of starter and extender for this deck, because when she is special summoned or normal summoned, she can add a card with Harpie Ladies Sisters in its text from your deck to your hand. And so it allows you to search out Elegant Egotist really easily, and now you have another way to search out that card. It's really great to go from Harpie Channeler and then summon her out that way, because then you get another free extender of doing so. So I really do like that card. Something else I'm experimenting with here are link monsters. I'm trying to think what good link monsters can I use with this deck, and so I was trying to use Dragoonity Knight Romulus. This is a bit of a botch though, because if you guys know anything about Romulus, you use its effect to search out Dragoonity Divine Lance, and then you use Divine Lance's effect to equip Dragoonity Phalanx from your deck to Romulus, and then summon it so you can make another card. But I completely forgot that you can't use the effect to summon to equip a Dragoonity card from your hand. It has to be from your deck, and so I kind of wasted that play there. It's these kind of kinks, which is why I'm not entirely happy with this deck here, and why I want to maybe experiment with it with a bit more. But there's a couple of things you could do with this deck. I would love to see maybe how things like Destrudo work with this deck. This deck really lacks a good board going first. Going second is a bit better because Harpies have cards which can destroy cards on the field, but going first, not so much. So the new card I just summoned out here is called Sigmorg. It is Sigmorg as a link monster. The Sigmorg actually became an archetype. Sigmorg was like a one-off card, but then it became an archetype 2 years ago. It wasn't really that powerful. I never actually really played it, but I would love to give it a try. But Sigmorg Bird of Sovereignty, their link 3 monster, has a really nice effect, and that is in the end phase, it counts how many unused spell or trap zones are on the field, and you can summon a monster from your deck up directly to the field. And so with there being 10 spell or trap zones, you can summon a monster up to level 10. Now the card that I went to summon was Barrier Statue of the Storms, which has an effect that says you cannot, your opponent cannot, no one can summon any monsters but wind monsters. So I'm trying to do a bit of a soft lock here. And then I just use Harpie's Feather Storm. Harpie's Feather Storm is the card which really made me think, wow, this is really powerful. This is actually a really nice card, and why I want to go back and try Harpies. Harpie's Feather Storm, it has two effects. One, if you have a, I've got to make sure I get this right. You can only activate this card if you have a Wind Beast monster on the field. And if you do, you can prevent your opponent from activating monster effects for the rest of the turn. It's a really, really powerful effect. It's kind of like a Dark Ruler no more, but it's in the form of a trap. And what's even nice is if you have a Harpie card on the field, you can activate it directly from your hand. So it's like a souped up version of Infinite Impermanence. And that's kind of what I was trying to build this deck around. I'm trying to stun my opponent and shut them down from making big plays. But the problem is, as you're seeing, is things like Barrier Statue of the Storms aren't too strong. They're kind of weak. So they're easy just to attack over. And this is where I'm still kind of working things out. So I'm summoning out, Simorgh activates in every single end phase, which is really nice. So because he's still on the field, we get to summon out Harpie Perfumer. And this time we went and searched out Harpie's Feather Rest. Harpie's Feather Rest is another new card to the archetype. It's a normal spell card that has a decent effect. But I'm kind of mixed about it. So we'll talk about it more when we use it. But it's okay, but it's not amazing in my opinion. So I want to now normal summon Magician's Souls. We want to dig through our deck a little bit more, I think, and get more cards out there. But first, I want to get rid of this back row card. So I'm going to use Souls and my Perfumer to go and summon out Nightmare Phoenix. And what's nice in this situation is that Nightmare Phoenix is going to be co-linked, meaning Simorgh arrows and Nightmare Phoenix's arrows are pointing to each other, so they're going to be co-linked. And so I will get an extra effect for Nightmare Phoenix by discarding a card. I'll get to destroy his trap card, but then I also get to draw a card. And we drew Elegant Egotist, which is okay. It's not on its own, it's not that good. We need a Harpie monster really to be good. And now we're going to use Harpie's Feather Rest. Harpie's Feather Rest is like a mini Pot of Avarice for the Harpies archetype, and I wanted to try it out because it's searchable with things like Harpie Perfumer. Harpie Perfumer is a really great searching card, but outside Elegant Egotist, it's got very limited options of what you can search, and so I wanted to see how good Harpie Feather Rest can be at cycling your monsters back into your deck. It's also, though, a point of contention with me. See, Harpies, they have several different types of cards, and when it comes to graveyard management, they have Hysteric Party, which can summon all their Harpies back from the graveyard and flood the field. It's kind of like a win condition card. But Harpies Feather Rest shuffles your cards back into the deck, so they kind of conflict in a way. But Harpies Feather Rest is searchable, and Hysteric Party isn't searchable. You've just got to pray that you draw it. So they don't really work well together. They kind of conflict with each other. What is nice about Harpie's Feather Rest is that if Harpie Lady Sisters is on the field, you get to draw 2 instead of 1. But still, it's like, don't know. The card I just used was Harpie Oracle. Harpie Oracle works like Harpie Perfumer, but instead of getting a card from your deck, you can get a card back from your graveyard. I'm only playing 1 or 2 of this, I think, because it's an extender that works from the graveyard, and we don't necessarily put too many spells in the graveyard very quickly. I'm not depending on it too much, but it is what I'm trying to do here, where I'm trying to like recycle Harpie Feather Rest and then constantly have Harpie monsters in my extra deck that can be summoned out with things like Harpie Channeler. So that is kind of the idea here. But this is going well, it's very consistent, but where's the power? We need a really good win condition. Options that come to my mind in terms of things you can do here. Oh, that's nice, because it's co-linked also, Nightmare Phoenix can't be destroyed by battle, and neither can Simorgh, which is pretty cool. But there are things you can do with Harpies. There are a couple of things that come to mind. So first of all is Simorgh. Simorgh has a little bit of a soft lock. It has an infinite negate loop using Mist Valley Apex Avian and Mist Valley Thunderbird. It takes a lot to set it up, but I don't really feel like it makes good use of the Harpie cards. I think it's something that deserves its own kind of dedicated deck, so I'm not really relying on that. I could use rank 4 monsters, although rank 4 monsters are kind of still good, but some of them really are kind of out of date. You could do things like Utopia Double Play, which isn't too bad. It can kind of win games for you, but at the same time, I always find every time I use it to be a double, I draw double or nothing very, very quickly. So I don't know about that. Maybe you could use it with some kind of synchro engine. I don't know yet. I'm gonna keep on experimenting with this deck and try and work out what to do. But this isn't going too bad, I'll be honest with you. This isn't that bad because we're able to keep a board and we're able to keep summoning cards. And so we use Elegant Egotist to get out Harpie Lady 1. Harpie Lady 1, out of the default Harpie Ladies, Harpie Lady 1 is my favorite because it gives a 300 attack boost. It isn't amazing in that regard, but it's okay. My opponent's going to respond with Magician's Combination. Magician's Combination is a negate for the Dark Magician archetype. That's kind of also a card which I kind of don't think kind of meshes well with its own archetype. I think there are other cards that are better for Dark Magician, kind of like how Harpies have kind of cards that conflict with one another as well. But yeah, there are weaknesses to these legacy archetypes. They're not meta decks. They're not designed to be like the best decks in the game. They're just designed to be fun and playable so that you can have at least be able to use them to some degree without feeling like they're completely unplayable. So I'm now going to use probably Harpie Channeler effect. I'm going to go and discard a card. I'm going to get rid of Harpie Queen, and I'm going to summon out a Harpie monster from our deck. We should be able to go for game here, but first my opponent is going to activate Magician's Combination, so he's going to negate the effect of my Harpie Channeler. That was a good activation, to be honest with you. He gets to summon out Dark Magician, so here comes Big Purple Boy, and I think he gets to destroy and negate. Oh, he only negates. He doesn't destroy my card. That's interesting. That's a little bit weaker than I thought. So I'm surprised by that. Borrowed Savage does the same thing, and there's a few other cards that only negate but they don't destroy. But I didn't expect that from a trap card. That's very, very unusual in my opinion. So we are going to go for a rank 4. We're going to summon that Lightning Chidori. I like this card. This card is really good, but you can only summon it with 2 level 4 wind monsters, so it wasn't that popular. But it has 2 really, really good effects. I kind of wish I summoned it earlier to bait out his Magician's Combination, but because when Lightning Chidori is summoned, it can target 1 set card on the field and shuffle it to the opponent's deck. I think it returns it to the bottom, and then you can detach 1 card from it to shuffle a card from his deck. So he gets rid of 2 cards. So it's a very, very good removal tool. One of the best in the game, I think, or one of the best rank 4 options in the game if you can play it. Gonna use Harpie Feather Rest again, shuffling our monsters, put them back in the deck. And we're gonna just try and slowly get past this Dark Magician. I mean, we're gonna be able to because Simorgh is on the field and it's pretty strong. There's no point summoning that Simorgh anymore. So we may as well just go to battle phase and swing against DM. And so we're going to do that now. Other ideas I had for this, I've already said that I maybe want to try it with something like Destrudo. You have, Tornado Dragon Ruler is legal in this game. It's the only Dragon Ruler, or is Redox illegal? I don't know if Redox is legal. But it's the Tornado Dragon Ruler is definitely legal in this game, which works with wind monsters and dragon monsters. I don't know much about Dragoonity as an archetype itself. I only know about a few about its cards, but I know it's support having a dragon base and a wing beast archetype, so I might want to experiment with that too. Or I might just want to kind of keep it a little bit more simple and just focus on the Harpie cards, and maybe it will just become a rank 4 box again, where we just summon lots of cards and use it to make bigger monsters. Not too sure just yet, but if you guys have ideas, do feel free to let me know. We're coming up to the end of this video, guys, and before we wrap up this duel, as my opponent is only on a few life points left, I want to say just a couple of things. Can I first of all just say thank you to you all. The advice I've been receiving on my channel and what I can do to make it better recently has been invaluable. I've been doing this on my own for like 6 years basically, and trying to work out things, and sometimes I make mistakes. I don't always do the right thing. I go in, I do things which don't necessarily work out, or I don't understand the perspective of my audience. And so I've had some people just say, hey, you know, I've been following you for a while, why don't you try this out? And I really, really do appreciate it, because I'm really trying to make this channel grow and trying to maybe make it a little bit bigger than it is. But thank you guys for watching this video. I'll see you soon. Take care.